Welcome members of the always growing VR horde, my name is Rex, this is Eyes on VR, and today I'll be giving you my review of the insane, no hand-holding VR kin to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, featuring loot, level and upgrade mechanics, the amazing virtual reality game, Everslaught. There will be a quick gameplay intro, then as always I'll cover graphics, sound, gameplay, things I don't like because no game is perfect, weapons, and of course if it's worth your hard-earned money, and a bit about the game's future roadmap as well. Timestamps are in the description below, here we go! Is that a fire sword? Is this an ice sword? Whoa, gotta move, too many. Wow. I'm trying to film. Wow. Everslaught was created by Mob X Games, a small indie studio from Germany, and if you want to see this, in a time period like this, then you're in the right place. Now, I have a Steam key of Everslaught to give away so someone can win themselves a free copy of Everslaught. Now, that's all thanks to the generosity of Mob X Games, so stick around and see if Everslaught is the VR melee combat game for you, and I'll talk about how to enter and win a free copy of the game at the end of the video. From its fast-paced, explosive gameplay, and believe me, if you watch any section of this video, make it the gameplay section, because that is where all the super fun stuff is. Like the sexiest gauntlet I've ever seen. Just looking down at the detail and the artistry of this, like, steampunky gauntlet is epic. All the way up to the beautiful art, sound design, and the breathtaking architecture. Everslaught has really blown me away for an early access VR game. The bar just seems to be getting higher and higher. It's certainly got some issues, but this is early access, so any problem I mention is definitely a contender for being patched in the future, so always bear that in mind. But as always, let's start with the graphics. I'm going to combine graphics and style here because Everslaught's visual style is absolutely breathtaking, and it's only limited by its location selection. It's just got such style that it needs to be mentioned. There's only so much you can do with ancient-looking temples and towns in the desert, but my oh my, Mob X Games have made it their own. Starting with this massive architecture, it's all very grand and something Nathan Drake would stumble across in an Uncharted game. Or quite literally where the Doom Slayer, or Doom Guy, whichever you prefer, came from. Huge, beautiful, and detailed entranceways to the underground catacombs and arenas. So many times I just found myself entering an arena or area and standing still for a moment, taking it in because it is just so gorgeous. Candlelit rooms or even outside, this really is a feast for the eyes. That's not to mention the weapons and the avatar hands. You want to talk style? Meet the sexiest gauntlet of virtual reality you've ever seen. These gloves and gauntlets are Half-Life Alyx levels of detail, and I'll get into what they can do later in the video, but the detail is solid here. Well modeled with reflection, normal mapping, metalness maps, roughness maps, the whole shebang, and the weapons have the same attention. There are quite a few in this game and they all look different, which is a nice touch. They are very reflective, but sharp and visually represent their durability rating as well. Sounds. I really enjoyed the sounds of this game. It really helps to pump you up in combat, but when you're fighting as well, it really hammers home that your impacts are doing damage. I really enjoy the grappling sound. It's exactly how I think it should sound, and it's a nice touch that when it recharges, it sounds like it's winding back in. The soundtrack isn't quite your hard-hitting heavy metal soundtrack, which is what I was hoping for, but it is heavy on the drums and the bass. It has a sort of Persian, Arabian feel to it. Now finally it's time for the gameplay. The gameplay loop of Everslaught is much like other games of its type. If you've played Blade and Sorcery, Battle Talent, or Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, you know what you're in for here for the most part, but despite all these similarities, Everslaught has really made it its own. Gameplay is where Everslaught shines brightest, and it shines really bright on visuals and sound alone. This is mainly a melee RTS style game. Your currency in the world is your enemy's blood, which is really badass. You'll use the blood collected from your enemies to level up your character. When you do, you get an experience point that you can spend on 3 different categories, each giving you boosts and upgrades to certain skills and weapons. And believe me, with procedurally generated dungeons, you won't lose interest quickly. It's fast-paced, and this game will not hold your hand. You'll have a little bit of a lull when you first start the game, an enemy here, an enemy there, but not long after you'll be thrown into an arena with more than 10 at a time to deal with. This game wants to let you cut loose and go against what most VR games are doing right now. With it being a new medium for most, it's very hand-holdy. Whether you have your VR legs already, or you just want to jump into VR at full speed, Everslaught is not playing around. One thing I really like is that the bodies have a physical presence after their death for a bit, so you can get a cheeky extra hit in there. Now I can't hold off on this any longer. Let's talk about the weapons and how that influences gameplay. I have to open with my favorite, and that has to be the gauntlet you'll have on your offhand. You cannot dual wield swords in this game, and I was absolutely shocked to find out that fact until I started to play with the gauntlet. Believe me, you'll see why you can't dual wield. Your gauntlet is your support system and your best friend. You'll use it in battle as much as a sword if you're smart. The gauntlet has a grapple. You can use this to get around levels and floors, adding a big sense of height and size to the game's arenas. The enemies will follow you though. They aren't human and they can just jump up to where you have grappled to, so you will not get a break from them for long. Whoa, they can jump up here? So don't fool yourself into thinking that things just happen on the ground floor. The grapple is great for escaping a horde of bad guys to heal or collect yourself for a little bit. But the added joy is you can use it to grapple onto an enemy as well, which inflicts damage. It also has what I have dubbed the big boy.
The hand cannon has been upgraded and releases power by pressing left trigger.
Oh my god!
Whoa! Oh my goodness. Woo-hoo-hoo! I like that.
A double-barreled shotgun that extends from the wrist of the gauntlet like an Assassin's Creed blade would. You can use this thing to blow enemies away, set off a boomer-style enemy, and chip armor away from the bigger guys. It is especially helpful for crowd control because Everslaught will not hesitate to throw 10 or so enemies at you at one time, plus a bigger boy that's harder to take down. The functions are well implemented as well, just requiring a turn of your wrist to switch between grapple and shotgun. The shotgun runs on blood collected from melee kills only, so you need to be slicing up enemies to fill it, but I do not think that will be a problem. The grapple, however, does not work this way, it just has a cooldown time which can be reduced as you level up. Shout out to a subscriber of mine, Virtual Waypoint. Everslaught recently put in a left-handed mode for all you southpaws out there. You can use the gauntlet to heal as well, which has such a solid animation and sound effect that I feel like I just want to heal for the sake of it, even when I don't need to. You'll find many weapons from low-level hit point rusty blades all the way up to pristine blades with elemental damage like electricity and shock. You can have one blade on your back and hold one in your hand. They each have their own shapes, sizes like short swords, long swords. They have different levels and hit stats, and this makes every blood run, as the game calls them, really fun as you don't know what you'll find when you're out there. And speaking of, get ready to feel like Link from the Zelda series, because if you see a box, crate, or pot, or jar, you better smash them, because that's how you'll collect the gold you use to upgrade and fix your weapons after a run.
Good.
Excuse me, I'm trying to loot. You'll do this when you're in your hub area where you can store, compare weapons, buy new random gamble weapons, upgrade them, and get yourself ready for your next blood run. And just zip around on the gauntlet for funsies. And by the way, every time you start a blood run, you get to do a superhero landing, so, you know, that's a bit of a win in my book.
Superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knee.
Problems. So Everslaught is early access and it's not perfect. One of the most frustrating bugs that exists at the moment is that when you finish a blood run, if you're holding the grip button to keep hold of a sword in your hand and you load into the screen after finishing the blood run, it will disappear. I finished a run more than once and got the most powerful sword I'd ever found in the game in the previous dungeon that I'd just done, got to the end while holding it, loaded into the end area where you collect your points and blood, and it was gone. It's a known bug by the devs, but it hurt me to experience it. So make sure when you leave a blood run that you have the sword you want on your back. I already mentioned that the punching is not up to scratch because, believe me, it is pretty poor. Everslaught does suffer from the same issues as all other VR melee games do, and that is what I call the swing to win approach. And basically that's where if I just walk up to an enemy and start swinging wildly, I'll pretty much win every time. Gorn, Blade and Sorcery, Battle Talent, they are all the same in this way, so it is what it is, but it means like other melee games in virtual reality, you need to play it properly and want to be immersed in that game to get the best out of it. Of course, there's nothing they can do about it. They can't not register your hits if you're swinging too fast, because that just doesn't make sense. The amount of legitimate hits you would miss would be very annoying. I saw some visual issues as well when it came to god rays and sort of effects in the world when it came to the weather, but nothing too serious, nothing visual that's crazy. I had no characters or AI start wigging out or freaking out for no reason, and they've done the very clever thing, which is to make the bodies dissolve once they have been killed, so there's no risk of ragdolls lying about, taking up memory, putting strain on your PC. This game has bugs and it's not perfect, but it is not a full release right now, so take all of this with a pinch of salt. And having said that, do I think it's worth the money? Everslaught is a PCVR title costing $15.49 at the time of recording, and is that too much to ask for this game? I want to say yes, but having seen the roadmap of what's to come, including adding new weapons to the gauntlet, letting you customize it, adding more enemy types, adding boss fights, adding lots of lore-based material, including NPCs, audio logs, codex entries, and more, and new arenas and themes, it's an investment, and if what comes is even better quality than now, it's going to be worth it. If you bring the right energy to this game, the same energy you would bring to a round of Doom Eternal, Devil May Cry 5, or a rush game of Battlefield, you'll feel right at home with what Everslaught has to offer. And that's fast-paced, violent, strategic, and no-holds-barred action. With gorgeous visuals and procedurally generated weapons, dungeons, and loot, the game promises to offer fun way beyond what you think you'll get out of it, even if it does have some bugs right now. Now, if you want to win a free copy of Everslaught for yourself, all you need to do to enter is leave a like on this video first, and then head to the description of the video, follow the link to the giveaway form. Don't worry, no registering or making accounts needed here, just follow the instructions on the form, and you are in for a chance to win, and the winner will be chosen by random number generator next week. Good luck to everyone that enters. And with that, my name is Rex, this is Eyes on VR, I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been my review of Everslaught. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.